is called to order, and we will have the pledge by Board Member Amy Dotson.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Amy. Roll call, Mrs. Vaughn.
Yes, Chairman, we have all in attendance tonight.
Woohoo! 100% attendance. It's so good to see everybody here for our April 18th board meeting in a full house. Yay! Wonderful. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Good. A motion by new board member Beth Harrison. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Andy Witt. Any questions? Any comments? Discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn.
That is all in favor, Chairman.
Very good. And before we move to special items, we all will welcome our new board member, Beth Harrison. Thank you. Welcome to our board, and happy to have you here. Very good. Yay! Do we have any individuals to address the board on an agenda item? Moving on, student celebrations. Dr. Stevens.
Yes, tonight we are celebrating a large group of students, so students who are here to be recognized. When you hear your names, come forward to the center area. So we are celebrating several students who have competed on the state and national level in archery. These students have competed as individuals and in teams for Taylor's Archery in the S3DA state and national indoor tournaments earlier this 2023 school year. In the Junior Eagle Division, this is 8 years and under. Let's celebrate Briley Harris and Kensley Hartman. As Briley and Kensley stay forward, let's listen to what they did. So, Briley, give a wave to everybody. Give a wave. A little low. There we go. All right. So, Briley finished first place in the open class female in the state and nation. Right. She also earned Shooter of the Year for the state of Tennessee. All right, Kensley, you want to give a wave to everybody? Kensley, all right, there she is. So, Kensley competed in the fixed pin female class and finished second in the state and Shooter of the Year. She also earned a 6th place finish at nationals. As team members, these young ladies helped their team finish first in the state and first in the nation. Their team is two-time reigning state and national champions in the Junior Eagle Division. Let's give it up for them. Next we have, thank you ladies, we have the Eagle Division, which is ages 9 to 11. Let's celebrate Hunter Harris. Here he comes. So Hunter placed 4th in the state and earned a 4th place finish in the Shooter of the Year standings for Tennessee. He also earned a 6th place finish nationally in the open class male and helped his team get a 3rd place finish in the state and national tournaments. Let's hear it for Hunter. Congratulations. Now we're going to move to the youth division. The youth division is ages 12 to 14. Let's celebrate Tullahoma High School freshman Madison Best and West Middle School student William Daw. So Madison placed 5th in the state, 4th in Shooter of the Year, and 16th in the nation. William competed in the bare bow class and finished 4th in the state and 2nd for Shooter of the Year. Madison helped her team earn a 3rd place finish at the state level and a 7th place finish at nationals. Let's hear it for our young adults, for our youth division. All right, so now we have the young adult division, and this is for ages 15 to 18, and we will have several students come forward. First of all, Tullahoma High School senior Natalie Best. Come on down, Natalie. Natalie placed first at the Tennessee S3DA State Championship and 2nd shooter of the year. She also earned a 4th place finish at nationals in the fixed pin female class. Let's hear it for Natalie. If you'll stay here and just move over just a little bit, because this is a large group that we're going to call up and acknowledge because they're all in the 15 and 18-year-old division. Tullahoma High School freshman Harley James placed 4th in the state. Is Harley here? All right, let me recognize. So Harley James placed 4th in the state and 4th for shooter of the year in the Olympic recurve class. Unfortunately, Harley isn't able to be here tonight with us. All right, let's just hear it for Harley.
Yay.
All right, next we have Tullahoma High School junior Ashley Scott. Ashley, if you'll come forward. Ashley placed 1st at the Tennessee S3DA state competition and 2nd in shooter of the year. She also earned 9th place at nationals in the bare bow class. Congratulations to Ashley. And now we have THS sophomore Nevaeh Todd. All right, placed 4th in the state competition and earned 2nd in shooter of the year in the open class. Congratulations to Nevaeh.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we will have joining us, big smiles, we will have joining us Tullahoma High School sophomore Gage Rollins. Gage here, okay, I'll tell you about Gage. Gage placed 3rd at the Tennessee S3DA State Championship, and he won Shooter of the Year in the fixed pins class. So let's hear it for Gage. And as we continue to celebrate 15 to 18-year-olds, last but not least, let's celebrate an exceptional team of 15 to 8-year-olds that placed 2nd in the state and 11th in the nation as a team. So big congratulations to Natalie Best, Harley James, Sean Owens, Nicholas Rollins, and if you're here, come forward. Ashley Scott, Nevaeh Todd, Ari Zephyrin, and Dominic Zephyrin. Come on down. Yeah. All right, there's a couple of them, all of them that don't have one.
Those are cool.
And let's have all our archers come forward real quick. All of our archers come forward. Calling all archers. We need you to be on target. I'm here all day. All right. Is there anybody else that's here that's to be recognized? All right, let's smile. Let's all be together. Zach, does anybody need to move? Yep. All right.
Sisters. That was sisters, right?
Congratulations to all our archers.
Thank you all so much for coming. What an incredible accomplishment. I cannot believe what you all do. We really appreciate you being here, but we know that you have other things that you need to do tonight, so please feel free to exit if you would like to. Thank you all again, and now we are moving on to volunteer appreciation. Dr. Stevens.
Yes, this evening we begin with what will be an annual recognition and celebration of vital members to our schools. And those members are our amazing volunteers. Our TCS volunteers give their time, their talents, their expertise to support our teachers, our staff, and our students routinely. This annual recognition, by the way, will be closely tied to the Tennessee School Board Association Volunteer of the Year celebration. The state of Tennessee, the school boards, the state of Tennessee is divided into 9 districts. School districts within those districts may submit one Volunteer of the Year into this TSBA competition for annual recognition. A panel of judges with TSBA selects one volunteer from each of the 9 districts. So we are very excited because we will be naming ours this evening, and of course we believe ours is going to win for our district. So without further ado, our building administrators will be coming forward to present a token to their Volunteer of the Year, who will stand here just as our students did, while the principals share just a few words of kindness about you, their favorite or esteemed volunteer. So we're going to begin with the high school. I would like to welcome the principal and their Volunteer of the Year, Joanne Crabtree. If you will both come forward. All right.
All right. So, raise your hand if you do not know Joanne Crabtree. When I think, other than her husband, when I think of volunteer, there's no other name that I think of than Joanne. Joanne is synonymous with Tullahoma High School, and synonymous with putting forth a lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of commitment to our students. There are many examples I could give on the ways that she has helped our children over the years. One would be the Distinguished Young Woman's program that she has run for the last 15 years, which is... So for those of you who don't know, this program is a national program that works with young ladies on developing all sorts of skills in order to become career professionals and civic leaders. Over the past 20 years, she has worked with students who have gone on to receive over $300,000 in scholarships. That's a lot of money. She's also overseen 1 national champion, 6 state champions, 34 regional champions, and has just done a tremendous job for these ladies. In fact, she's doing this right now. If you're interested to come and find out what this is all about, Saturday night, 6:30 in the THS auditorium. The other thing that Joanne has done, or another example, is she's been a volunteer cheer coach forever. But her focus is not on tumbling and not on routines. Her focus is on mentoring young ladies and helping them in school issues, in life issues, in dealing with career choices, and mentoring these young ladies. I am going to read this. When Joanne was asked, "Why are you doing this?" she made a comment. "I do this because I personally would not be who I am today if my community mentors and teachers had not cared to guide me to be my best self. I had a single mother who worked 3 jobs, so I needed my community and teachers in the Tullahoma City school system to shape and mold me. My night is now complete because her mother is sitting in the very back. And if those that you don't know, you need to make sure to meet her. She is definitely a jewel of our city and has been for so long." So I want to present to Joanne the Tullahoma High School Volunteer of the Year Award for 22-23.
Thank you.
Coaches, I think she was 12 when she coached me. But Kim was my coach at one time.
Cindy.
Thank you.
And next, we will welcome from West Middle School, Miss Cindy Herrera, and the Volunteer of the Year, Jennifer Hood.
We thank everybody for coming out tonight because we're recognizing some amazing people, not only in our school system, but in our community. First of all, Ms. Hood is an incredible volunteer at West Middle School. Anytime we would need her, she was always there. But 3 big events at West that she has helped us with this year. And if you talk to Mr. Epley, you'll see how she has impacted not only West but Bel Air as well. But one of the big things is we changed directions in our fundraiser this year. We did something a little different, and she oversaw the implementation of that along with Miss Amanda Baker, who's one of our EAs at school. Initially, to be honest, I thought, I don't know if I really want to try this new thing. Are we going to have success? But she caused that fundraiser to be a huge success for West Middle School. And we've already made some purchases because of that. We have very nice picnic tables out back that our kids are eating lunch at. All the kids get the opportunity to go outside to eat about every 4th day. So that's been a big blessing. Our fundraisers used totally for the kids that are at West Middle School. So that's one aspect. Another thing, if you don't know Tullahoma as well as I've been here off and on my whole life, but our choir program is always pretty phenomenal. And we had a new teacher that we added a couple of years ago, and she moved to having a choir booster club. And she is the president of our West Middle School choir program. But the bigger piece of that, she helps organize field trips and she helps oversee them. Now, if you've not been on a middle school field trip, you would not quite understand the challenges that you can go through when you're on a field trip that doesn't start like at 9 or 10. It starts at 6 or 7 in the morning and they go to 11 o'clock at night. So she's helped with our choir field trips, with our fundraiser, with the organization, done a phenomenal job on that. But the last thing also that she's done for West Middle School is she helps with our book fair. And this is where when you watch a person who normally is not in the classroom, she had great control of all the middle school kids coming to a fundraiser, picking out books. She could talk to them for a few minutes, figure out what they might be interested in, make a suggestion. But our book fairs have been very successful. So a lot of our fundraisers in 3 different departments is because of Mrs. Hood. But the other piece that I want everybody to know, she's very humble and she's very kind and she's very compassionate towards the kids at West Middle School. And the other side of her is that she is like super organized and she is great with handling money and getting the job done as far as instructing our teachers on what they can do to help her. So we thank you very much. You're West Middle School's Teacher of the Year, and we hope that we see more of you. So thank you. We appreciate you. She says we get to have her for 3 more years, so that's awesome. So we have Miss Jennifer who we want to present this little token of our appreciation, and we thank you for all that you've done for our students, but also our staff as well. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And next from Bel Air Elementary, Dr. Clint Epley and the Volunteer of the Year, Libby Good.
Thanks.
So I have the privilege of speaking on Libby Good's behalf tonight. I'd be remiss if I didn't also say Jay Good has played a huge role at our school, but tonight we're highlighting Libby. Libby has been a parent at Bel Air since, I believe, 2012. Her 3 boys have come through Bel Air, and she's played a vital role in our PTO, different events the school has put on outside of the PTO, and really just been a parent that wants the best for our school. No matter who's the principal or who the principal is, no matter which teacher her children had, she's all about what's best for Bel Air, and it shows. She's been a part of raising over $400,000 through our PTO since 2012, almost $50,000 this year, which is absolutely phenomenal. These monies have gone to playground equipment, technological tools, among many other things. The list, as you could imagine, is quite long. What I would say to Libby is, for me, coming into a new school 4 years ago, she's been a huge help to me, and I've not always made the right decisions. And we've talked about different parent events. I said, how does that work? How did this work in the past? And she knows, and she's helpful, and she's honest, and our teachers and our students love this family, and it's a huge loss for our school when you leave soon. But we hope you visit frequently. West Middle School, we're sending another phenomenal volunteer. So we will just keep that going. So, and there's more. So thank you, Libby, for everything you've done, not just this year, but for the last 12 to 13 years. Thank you. So.
And next, we will welcome East Lincoln Elementary Principal Scott Hargrove and their Volunteer of the Year, Andy Nelius.
Thank you.
We are so blessed in our community to have volunteers and the support we do from our CEO partners to all the different people that we're recognizing tonight. It takes a whole village. You know, when I think of a really good volunteer, you see their work, but you don't see them. And Andy fits that mold. He does everything from the back. He's the first one there. He's the last one to leave. Eagle strut. Sets it up, takes it down. All our cross-country meets, he's the first one there. He's the last one to leave. And those are pretty big events, a lot of folks there. Our field day, PE extravaganza, but you never see Andy. You just know he's there and you see his work. And we don't do it without our volunteers. And I know for a fact on our cross-country meets that he's the most popular guy in town, at least with the participants, because you have a icy pop and the scissors. And I've never seen is.
I can open quick.
You can make Dr. Crabtree's surgical skills look a little ragged, right?
I already advised him on a few things.
Andy, well, we got to find the right one. There it is. Andy, thank you. We appreciate you. You make us better. You support our kids, and we appreciate your time. Thank you.
And next, we welcome Jack T. Farah Principal Travis Moore and their Volunteer of the Year, Kat Murray.
Travis.
This lady right here needs no introduction from me, I can promise you, in the community. But we were talking back there, and I just love the stories you were telling. You said you did a wedding for two students that met on the what?
On the playground at Fair in second grade.
Second grade. She didn't even know when she was doing the wedding that they even went, but they met there, and she remembers them. 20-plus years of service to Farah Elementary. Miss Lichty brought you in and has never left. And they won't let, but...
Vincent wouldn't let me leave. Mickey wouldn't let me leave. Now Travis won't let me leave. Debbie didn't let me leave.
That's right. So we know her as DJ Cat, though, if you want to know her. She's DJ Cat. So she comes in, and anytime we need her, we work our schedule around her schedule to make sure that we have her. CEO partner didn't want to quite get into that, but at some point in time, they drug her into the CEO partner. She comes in and does a after-school club with Miss Ferguson called the Yearbook Club, and then the students help design that yearbook and get all that going. And you're a natural-born teacher too, so if you ever want to get out of the printing business, we'll take you. All right, we'll take you as a teacher as well, because you should just see her working with a student. She's a natural when it comes to that, and they have a lot of fun, and they have a lot of participants in that club. Every single time. The teachers love her. Anytime we have, as far as field day. She's our DJ out there just mixing it up, and the kids she's usually at the Cone Ice. So I don't know, is it the Cone Ice or is it DJ Cat? So no, it's DJ Cat for sure. And just, you can't say Farah without Kat, and we appreciate everything you do for Farah, and continue this great relationship far into the future.
I'm not going anywhere.
Awesome. So we want to recognize DJ Kat as the volunteer.
And next, we will welcome Robert E. Lee Elementary Principal Mary Gilbert and their Volunteer of the Year, Kristen Nichols.
There are so many things I can say about Kristen. One, I'm going to get her name right tonight because it's Kristen Nichols and not Lynch. And for many meetings, I would catch myself saying that because she is a former student. And when I say former student, I don't mean just an okay former student. I mean exemplary and outstanding. And we see the same qualities in her as a parent, not only at Robert E. Lee, but it extends. I know Woody's glad to have her at East Middle because of the work that she does with the PTO. She's been our vice president, and I think she's doing things at the middle school as well. But when I look at Robert E. Lee and I see the different things, I see a part of Kristen. And I think about what Scott just said too, because it fits her humble, sweet spirit. She does things quietly. There are many times you don't even know she's in the building. And all of a sudden, all these things are done. And she's so creative and so intuitive, and she's such a good listener. And she really is there for students first. It's not about her. It's not about being recognized. It's about what's important for our students. And whether that's with creating a brand new Color Me Fun run because we were smarter in the way that we plan things. And she's always looking at that edge too. How do we work smarter, better, and do things for our students? And so we just had another one Saturday, which was a great event. And she's so instrumental in all of those different events that she plans, from, the red carpet gala or gala, whichever way you want to prefer to say it. Back in the fall, there used to be the fall festival and different things like that, and she's had an instrumental part in every step of the way. But also with that, there's been a lot of things at school. When you walk around on the campus and you see memorial trees or you see benches, that's because of the hard work that they did. They know how to go out quietly, and they know how to get more donations and get people to get involved. They see people that are parents that are, hey, I think you could be used here. And so there's a lot of organization going on behind the scenes, whether it's T-shirts, gathering those up and giving them out. One of the most recent things that was huge, if you go by Robert E. Lee, you'll see picnic tables and big awnings. Perfect timing. We didn't know COVID was going to hit. We ordered the tables and the awnings. Next thing we knew, we couldn't have students in the building with their parents having lunch, but we could provide an opportunity outside on the grounds. That has turned into a gathering for the community. People come there all the time. We hear about parties there. So it's really turned into a community because we have parents like Kristen who are willing to think outside the box, be creative, make things happen. We could not be the school we are today without parents like Kristen. Former student, excellent student, outstanding parent, and we just cannot thank her enough. Matt, we thank you. It's an awesome to have your children there, and I see they're so proud. I see them clapping. Mom, they're so proud of you. Look at them. But anyway, we just say thank you for everything. We appreciate you. So it's an honor to recognize her as our Volunteer of the Year. Thank you.
And Kristen Nichols gets to stay put because she is also the East Middle School Volunteer of the Year.
Thank you. Whoops. All right, good evening. I'd like to start and say thank you to all of our volunteers. We're so blessed in Tullahoma to have just a great community that supports our school system and supports our students. It is incredible from my perspective to sit back and watch. So thank you to all of our volunteers. We're blessed to have many volunteers that work with Miss Kristen at East. Kristen, when I think of Kristen, I think of a leader. She does such a good job organizing events, drawing the right people in. Poor old Matt gets brought in sometimes late at night to do some late night rounds. But Kristen, I got the opportunity to work with her some at Lee and now at East Middle, and she just does a phenomenal job. She's there, she's organized, she's encouraging, she's positive, she's supportive. They literally take a cart full of drinks and snacks around to our teachers, which they greatly appreciate. So I appreciate all that you and your team do for East. Thank you. There you go.
Slow motion.
Just stay right here. And so now it's fun for me to also thank every volunteer that's here and to thank all the volunteers that are throughout our school system who are busy working all the time. Your support is just unbelievable in how we are able to do the work. As I noted when we started, we will have one district volunteer of the year represent us in the TSBA competition. Words like collaborative, cooperative, committed, dedicated, innovative, selfless, dependable, our go-to are just a few of the words that these principals used to describe our first ever District Volunteer of the Year, Kristen Nichols. You got a lot of heart there. And we will be submitting that tomorrow morning.
Congratulations again, everyone. And we appreciate you so much. And we would love to have you stay for the rest of the meeting, but we're pretty sure you've got some volunteering to do. So feel free to move on out. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Dr. Stevens.
Yeah, so we have a special visitor with us this evening, Derek Martin, who's president and CEO of American Constructors. He is the construction manager for the Jack T. Farah Elementary project. And we know that project has been really slow to get off the ground, but we're very excited that we are at a place now where he can come and share some highlights of how the schedule might be unfolding in the coming months. So we are really thankful that you're here, Mr. Martin, and we'll let you take it from here.
Okay, good evening. Thanks for having me. We're honored to be the builder for this upcoming edition. Right now we're in pre-construction, which is the generic term for everything before we break ground. In December, the architect, Tim Little, he came up with a concept sketch for the floor plan of the new addition. It was about 72,000 square feet. You may have heard all this before. We ran a quick budget based on just current market prices of schools we've recently priced, and it looked like 72,000 square feet was more than you had allocated. So Tim went back, met with Dr. Stevens, Principal Moore, and came up with a new reduced floor plan, which is 42,000 square feet of addition and then some renovation in the existing building. That was recently blessed 2 weeks ago that it would meet the school's needs, and so the next step is for Tim to issue what's called a schematic design package. So he takes that one floor plan and he adds a couple more sheets, some elevations that show the sides of the building, maybe an isometric that kind of shows how it looks in perspective, some information on the site, the grading, the utilities, what kind of structure is it, some brief narratives on mechanical, engineering, plumbing, something that gives us a better idea of maybe how we can budget it. So we'll get that package the end of this month, and then he'll stop, he'll put his pencil down, we'll run a budget on that, we'll get subcontractor feedback locally, and we'll do quantity takeoff on all the pieces and parts that we can tell, because it's still early. And then we'll come back with a budget, a snapshot of where we think it stands based on that. And that starts this iterative process where Tim will retreat and start designing some more, he'll take a break, and we'll run a new budget. And we keep going back and forth and until we get the project both within your budget and a scope that meets the school's needs. And so that back and forth will take place through the summer. Right now, he thinks he can have the final documents that we would get hard pricing from subcontractors early fall. Now, he's also agreed in advance of that to do an early package of the site work and the foundations. That will allow us to break ground in the summer, which is obviously the best time to get going on all those things. So that's kind of where we're marching towards. Again, it's a process, and we're happy to be on board early. We think it helps to have the whole team working together from day one. So any questions y'all have? I know I hit you with a lot of info.
We're just super excited about
Well, good, we are too.
moving on to the next phase.
Yeah.
But we understand that it's a process, and we're going to be patient because we want it to be right.
We're good. We do too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. Athletics update, Coach Olive.
It's on. Thank you, since I can't see. A real quick update. Maybe should have had that gentleman for this construction project, but anyway, tennis courts are on hold as far as finishing out the top coat and the wall and so forth until the tennis season comes to an end. The middle school season will be ending here within 2 weeks. The high school season could continue depending on how good our tennis players are, and so far our boys tennis team's playing pretty well. So it could push into the middle of May all the way up to the end of May. But at that point in time, that weather forecast, we get told we got 4 dry days and it's going to stay above 50 degrees, then hopefully Curl Construction will have their subcontractors in there finishing our project. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Coach Olive. We're excited about those tennis courts. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Gigi Robinson. Is there a second? Second by Teresa Lawson. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn?
That is all in favor, Chairman.
Very good. Thank you so much. Lots in that consent agenda. Unfinished business, buildings and grounds. Teresa Lawson.
Well, I'll just skip on over the tennis courts since John's already covered that. But we're hopeful that by the end of the school year, by the end of the school year, that we'll be up and running with the tennis courts. Also at Tullahoma High School, the auditorium curtains will be replaced over summer break. Now, I believe we discussed, am I correct, Pat, that when the high school was built in the 50s?
57, 58.
Yes, that they were there then. And I think they've been cleaned, was it once throughout this period of time? So anyway,
That's more than I would have guessed.
So anyway, we're gonna have get those replaced over summer break, and excited about that. The lower roof, gym roof, and the sidewalls will be waterproof to try and alleviate the leaking. The job should be completed in the next month. The bids for the job to replace the primary gym floor are targeted for submission in August, with plans to award the job by October. The scheduled timeline for the job is the summer of 2024. Gutters on the field house need to be replaced to address water leaks in the building. And the windstorm in early March damaged 2 windows in the Wilkins Stadium press box, and these have been replaced. So we move on to Bel Air. The fascia and soffits will be replaced by C&G Sheet Metal of Manchester over the next month. Several sections of the sidewalks were repaired over spring break, and they look really, really nice. I don't see Tim here, but anyway, they did a fantastic job with that. The front awning, ceiling, and poles, along with the exterior doors, were painted a light gray to match the other areas of the exterior over spring break, and that looks really nice as well. It's really funny how just some paint can just make things look so new and fresh. Okay, East Middle.
Teresa, can I ask a question real quick?
Yes.
Between those 2 schools?
Yes.
I know that you said that y'all were replacing the curtains. Do you know?
At the high school?
How bad of shape are they? Because I know at one time Bel Air really was looking at, they wanted to replace their stage curtains. And I didn't know if they're in that bad of a shape or it wouldn't be an option, or, but I know that they were,
sure.
those are in pretty bad shape at Bel Air, so I didn't know if it would work or not. Just something to think about.
There was something that that we, do you remember?
I think we could have them look at the curtains.
'Cause they may be too bad of
It may
shape, but-
not be best, but they'll have Bel Air's curtains in their mind and look at
Yes,
the high
that-
school.
that
That
would
may
be-
be what's advisable. We'll make that connection.
Okay.
I can't remember off the top of my head, so, but I mean, the years of, yeah. So where were we? East Middle School? Train has received 5 of the new HVAC units and plans to swap them out over the summer break. The remaining units are not expected in until August at the earliest. Train was on site over spring break reviewing the ductwork. They will clean them during summer break, and that'll really be nice to get that completed. Chattanooga Fire will be completing the follow-up work on the fire suppression line when school is out for summer break. West Middle, 2 additional sidewalks will be added to the school. One will come off Turkey Creek Road and another off Hermitage Drive. This work will begin in May. At Lee, the existing playground asphalt pad will be removed and replaced with concrete pad. This work is scheduled to begin over summer break. And tile in the serving area of the cafeteria will be replaced over the summer break. Some other projects is a draft of plans to add ramp access to the central office. Has been submitted. Additionally, a sidewalk will be added from the north parking lot to the rear of the building. The central office kitchen received an update to increase functionality and use. By June, all schools, CSS, maintenance, and the central office will have badge access entry. THS and East Middle School have been completed. Our playgrounds will be inspected for soft mulch depths. A report will be provided at the next Building and Grounds meeting. And last of all, the City of Tullahoma Parks and Rec has donated the old scoreboard from Grider Stadium to TCS for installation at the softball field. The scoreboard will need to be refurbished before it can be installed, and that cost is minimal. So we're excited about that. Pat, did I leave anything out that you can think of? Okay. Any questions?
All that, if a man makes a casual trip around the campuses of all 8, I guess, what to me stands out the most from the report is 2 gallons of paint at Bel Air.
Oh, goodness, yes, it looks so good. And inside, too, that we've done, all the work we've done inside.
Really make that look
We
nice.
replaced the tiles and the painting that we're getting there. It's just.
It's all good. As always, lots and lots of work from this group. And also, just a reminder, Pat is also the board rep for the Farah Building Project. And he's a perfect fit for that. He was in the business and he's built schools before. Not personally built them, but been a part of it. So it's really good. So thank you all. Lots and lots of great stuff. Policy update, Gigi Robinson.
The Policy Committee recommends an update to Policy 5.501. That's complaints and grievances. And the change in this is simply to update the name of our new Director of Business, Hank Jordan.
Very good. Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept the policy update to 5.501 on a first and final reading?
So moved.
Motion by Amy Dotson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Pat Welsh. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn?
That's all in favor, Chairman.
Very good. Thank you. That was easy enough. Hank Jordan's on there now. Budget. Hank Jordan.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, we continue to get updates on the new TISA funding model. We expect another update on April 30th, but the updates are getting and the estimates are getting seem to be pretty tight. So I think we'll have a good estimate by April 30th about where we're going to be, so we can start working forward to really hone in on the budget and get that set. I've also reached out to Sue Wilson with the City of Tullahoma. They're working in earnest as well. She hopes to provide, some of their estimates, sales tax, from a sales tax standpoint, where they're going to be. From an expense standpoint, we're still working through some models to look at things. We need to look at capital projects and kind of fine tune that. But we're working to gather all that information so I can get with the Finance Committee very soon, and we can start plowing forward with the budget. Any questions?
Good. Great.
Thank you.
Excellent. Very anxious to get those numbers, those dollar numbers. New business, we're going to start with Director Evaluation. Board Policy 1.101 and Tennessee Code Annotated 49-2-203 state that it is the responsibility of the board to employ and evaluate the director of schools. This happens in April of every year, and the results are shared in public. How great would that be? Yeah. Dr. Stevens and I met on Monday, April 10th to discuss the results of the evaluation. Each board member independently completes an evaluation document, returns them to Board Secretary Sandy Vaughn, and she compiles them for the review. For the third year in a row, Dr. Stevens has had an exceptional evaluation, scoring a 4.7 on a 5.0 scale. Our board believes that you are a very strong leader that represents our school system exceptionally. You are a fantastic communicator, and you keep the board apprised of issues as they become known. We appreciate the excellent strategic plan and the process for creating it. Much progress has already been made. Dr. Stevens provides exceptional leadership for Tullahoma City Schools. She has made significant gains and improvements during her tenure. Her work ethic is above expectations, and we look forward to continued success for TCS under your leadership. Thank you, thank you. Very good. Thank you all for getting your evaluations in. Tuition, Dr. Stevens.
Yes, and let me say again, thank you. And it is an odd experience to have your evaluation public. I will say that. So let's talk a little bit about tuition. Board Policy 6204 states that students residing outside of the boundaries of the school district may attend schools within the school district under several conditions, one of them being paying a tuition fee established annually by the school board. Administration recommends continuing the following for the 23-24 school year, and as best I can tell, it has at least been in place since 2011. And those are the amounts of $900 for high school, $600 for middle school, and $300 for elementary. Currently, we have 434 out-of-district students. Last year, about this time, we had 408. So we run a little over 400 annually. When you look at the scope of our budget, this part of our budget is less than 1%. It's about 0.5% of our actual budget. So it is very nominal in terms of the revenue that it brings in. So again, administration is going to recommend to accept the tuition rates as follows: high school $900, middle school $600, and elementary $300. Madam Chair.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept the tuition rates as presented for the 2023-24 school year?
So moved.
Motion by Andy Witt. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Teresa Lawson. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn? Thank you so much. District report, superintendent's report, Dr. Stevens.
Yes, so the school year is flying by and coming so close to the very end. I chatted with a senior last Friday and said, do you realize in 4 weeks you're walking across the stage to achieve that diploma that you've spent many years working toward? And it's just overwhelming to think about. As you know, at this time of year, it feels like there is activity upon activity upon activity, whether it's an award celebration, a banquet, all kinds of great things happening. We're going to celebrate our retirees this Thursday at the Lakewood Country Club. There are 162 years of service in this year's retirees. They have been dedicated to student success, and we are really excited to celebrate them on Thursday evening as they are joined by their family and friends for this occasion. Graduation occurs Friday, May 12th at 7:30, and I look forward to celebrating the accomplishments of these students. I just can't believe it. It was so fun to see so many of them at prom on Saturday, just getting to know them and watching them flourish. We've got some great young people that are coming out into our world, into the next steps of their future and career. So a few weeks ago, the inaugural COSBA conference, that Consortium of State School Boards Association, met at the end of March and early April. I, along with our board chair and board member Gigi Robinson, attended this conference, and we met with people from a variety of states. I think we determined there were at least 23 states that are in the organization right now. It was exciting to present in 2 breakout sessions, one on team building and one on strategic plan work. We enjoyed meeting, connecting, and collaborating with people from across the country. Finally, since the approval of the additional assistant principal positions, we have all worked very hard to get that done. I just want you to know that every school has had a panel, and as of Monday, Dr. Norris, our 6th and final assistant principal panel was through. Each panel had a variety of members. There were about 8 members from each school, a parent, and then a variety of cross-section of the school in terms of faculty. They were trained before ever coming here. They created the questions for all of our candidates. When they arrive in the morning, Dr. Norris, Jennifer Matlock, they have done incredible work to get this taken care of. There is so much organization, planning, communication that happens when the panel arrives. There are folders complete with everything you would ever want to know about a candidate. Time is given to go over those resources. And then Dr. Norris leads the actual panel, so she's with them the entire day, moving through that process, doing an exceptional job. Everybody scores on their own. Then Miss Matlock's enter scores, and here we go. Their job, the panel's job, is to get a top 3. Every panel has done an exceptional job, and it's fun for me to come meet with them at the end of the day and to hear them tell the top 3. See, they know it, right, Dr. Norris? They know it when they see those top candidates. So we have named 4 of our assistant principals so far. We have Jill Kimsey at East Lincoln Elementary. We have Bethany McKee coming to Bel Air Elementary, Dr. Megan Hardy coming to Jack T. Farah Elementary, and Sandy Clanaris, one of our interns, going to Robert E. Lee Elementary. This week, we will close up with hopefully 2 more announcements, the West Middle School Assistant Principal and the newest Tullahoma High School Assistant Principal. I just want to take the time to thank you for seeing that need and for supporting that in this very important work that we do. And yeah, congrats, and thanks so much to Dr. Norris especially, and Jennifer Matlock. These 2 have really been remarkable. Madam Chair.
Thank you. Excellent report. And basically, I just copied hers. So, new board member Beth and I have plans to meet next week for orientation. You didn't have that.
Did not.
So that. I'm also looking forward to our retirement dinner on Thursday night. Again, I want to recognize all of you involved in making sure that our AP postings and interviews were done in such a timely manner. That required after-hours work and is greatly appreciated by this board. I also want to say thank you to Dr. Stevens for her most excellent presentations during COSBA. We all know, because we've seen her present, we've been a part of it. Fantastic. We had repeat customers the next day for totally different presentations. That speaks volumes, because often I make sure that I don't repeat the same person. I also want everyone to know how involved Dr. Stevens is in advocating for public education and what is best for students at the state level and at this conference. That's so important. And I appreciate her going above and beyond, because obviously she isn't always aligned with what some of the legislators are saying. The sessions were informative and fun. And also, thank you to Sandy for organizing all the supplies for us and Gigi for helping facilitate. There were plenty of good takeaways from COSPA, but it is definitely in the startup phase. Next year's conference is in Dallas, Texas, February 22nd through the 25th. So if you want to go ahead and put that down. And that's my report. Thank you all. City Board Liaison Report.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Quick question.
You go right ahead.
On the, talk about state advocacy.
Yes.
I should have already called, but I hadn't had time today, and I think I just heard it on the national news. Have they decided what they're going to do for sure, third grade retention now?
So they are coming to a final spot from what we have on TOS. It's moved through several chambers. I don't know if there's a final vote yet.
Okay, well, the way I interpreted the news presentation was
that the vote happened.
One test, and you will either go to summer school or get a tutor. So that's not set in stone yet.
So what we heard on the last report that they were altering is they were going to add a universal screening component as a pathway out of retention. So that was not in the original bill. Another addition that we had heard they had placed in there was parents were going to be able to allow the education, the LEA, to submit appeals. The initial law said parents were the only individuals who could appeal decisions. So we're excited about that. Those are the two immediate alterations that come to mind. So it is not at all what we had hoped for or what we had lobbied for, but it certainly is some potential change.
Well, that's better than what I saw, I felt like on TV.
And
Thank you.
what is the date? What is the date that they had said that we were hoping to get the test scores back?
May 19th is when we'll get third grade raw score data. The actual retake window across the state of Tennessee for third grade is May 22 to June 5. Our two test dates, which we'll communicate out to families, will be May 25th and May 30th, and we will have more than one time on each day.
And when does summer school start for those that would?
Our summer school begins June 5.
Yeah, so that's a
It's a
tight, very tight
quick turnaround. And we have if you go to the state website, there's a pathway to fourth grade. That visual is really helpful. Most every student has a pathway to fourth grade. There is one set of students. If a student scores below, to move to fourth grade, they must complete 90% attendance at summer school. If they do not, they are the students who will automatically be retained in third. Everybody else has a pathway forward. Now, with that said, we have 4 makeup days. So we have, I think it's June 27 through 30. Where we're saying any student who misses 1 or 2 of those days and isn't at 90%, we are giving 4 days that they can make up those days to hit 90. So every student potentially could move to fourth grade.
Is there any kind of thinking, worst case scenario, I guess, we don't get the test scores back, because typically they're not very timely on that with the State Department. Is there any talk, if we don't get it back in time, to even have the makeup dates, those days that you had given, changing the summer school dates?
We have been assured we will have the scores on May 19th.
Well, I am glad they are assured of that. That's great.
They're sure every year.
Yeah.
And now,
love
are those dates, like parents of third graders, are they aware of those dates as far as when summer school is and if they needed to plan accordingly?
That's a great question. I'm going to defer right now to Ms. Fanning. We have directors in place, and if you'll address the communication third grade parents may have specific to summer school dates.
Sure. Each school and each director is communicating with families on an individual basis about what our dates are. Letters went out in first part of February. Here's your child's current standing. Here's what we sort of predict your child, how they will perform. on that test. So this has been an ongoing conversation throughout the year. There's talk amongst the principals now about possibly having,
Oh, I'm not on. Okay. About possibly having another evening or afternoon meetings when we can meet with parents again to ask questions, because we want to make sure all confusion is cleared up and that everybody knows all the rules, and they know the different pathways, and they know what's expected.
Right. I think we really cannot, I think we know what this is doing, how this is affecting our schools, our children, our parents, but I would just like to say, I was at pickup this week, at two different schools, and to hear parents asking their children, like, did you remember to capitalize all of your sentences? Did you, it is so stressful. And I wish that the legislators could understand how this is affecting the children and the parents. And, it's just sad. It's sad to see that level of stress on a test.
Right. Especially for those children that are right on the line. If they get notification they're on the line, how does that affect them on the test? Does it stress them out anymore, and they perform worse than they normally would because of that knowledge there too? And it's a concern.
And I know our hands are tied, and we're doing the very best that we can, but we just have to continue to advocate.
I would like to say I love the idea of having another meeting, because I think initially when parents had the meeting and then the information went out and it's shared, and you guys did a wonderful job of that, it's the shock factor. So now that shock is kind of set in, now I think they would be able to really understand all the things that maybe you probably already said, but now that they realize, okay, this may really be a reality now, now they can understand the importance of, okay, you have to attend, these are the dates, this is the makeup time. Now they might be more open to take all that information in, because I'm sure when it came out, it was a shock to everyone. Everyone's like, oh, this is going to go away, this has got to go away, this doesn't make any sense, this can't be true. And now that it is true, it's set in stone, our hands are tied. I think parents, a second meeting is a wonderful idea, because it's a lot for parents to take in right now.
And those are conversations we were having even today about setting those up.
So thank you and the principals for being proactive for that.
And it's very difficult to even communicate, because all the education committee meetings have been closed now for the last 3 weeks. So you can't even go into those meetings and talk to them.
Yes. Thank you. City Board Liaison Report, Alderman Berry.
Mr. Chairman and Board, congratulations again to Ms. Harrison. You'll do a great job. I am happy to report that during my brief stint as a crossing guard at Farrah, everyone made it across the street. There were no accidents, and the only complaint that I am aware of is that it was raining one day, and I had my Michigan Wolverine umbrella, and somebody complained that it wasn't a UT or a Tullahoma. I'll take that. I actually enjoyed it. Doing this is one of my favorite things to do. But I was replaced by probably our biggest news, which is SROs. And I haven't had the opportunity to chat and see how that is going, but I do want to say thank you to Dr. Stevens, to Chief Williams, and everybody who was involved in that. And I think it is a great example of the partnership and the leadership from the school and from the police department, and being able to work together and get that done. There were talks going on before, and then I think situations kind of sped things up, and it is something that will continue to be important. It is something that the city is focused on, lining that up for next year. So there will be some budget presentations on that. It's not going to be cheap, but you can't put a cost on that, and it is something that we take seriously and something that we will get done no matter what. It will happen. But I do want to chat and see how some of that is going, and if there's any feedback there. that's all that I've got. Thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you very much. Personnel, Dr. Stevens.
Yes, the personnel changes for April have been presented to you in an attachment.
Great. Monthly financial report, Mr. Jordan.
All right. Also included in your packet are our financials through March 31st. So if you have any questions, let me know.
Great, thank you so much. I see that Jim Woodard is in the audience with the Education Foundation. Did you have anything for us tonight?
I'm just here as observation.
Okay.
We are going to have our semi-annual meeting next Tuesday afternoon, and I just wanted to sit in. I'd like to come and hear about the progress that everybody's doing so that I can report back and also applaud Dr. Stevens and her leadership and what's happening.
Right. Thank you so much, and thank you to the foundation. Is there anything else to come before the board? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? Motion by Teresa Lawson, sorry, Mrs. Vaughn, a second by Pat Welsh. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn? Meeting is adjourned.